Hi Stampers, it's Christine from Christine's Stamping Spot. Thank you for joining me this October 4th for another Mystery Monday project. So we are now into the month of October. And in Canada, this coming weekend will be our Thanksgiving weekend, which is always so wonderful. Although given COVID restrictions here in Alberta, some of us may not be able to be with as many of our loved ones as we would like, but we are still thankful that we have gotten through to another Thanksgiving. So today we are going to do another Christmas card, and it's going to be this one. And this one, we are going to use some products from the Painted Christmas Suite, which you can find starting on page 16 of the Holiday Mini. So it's got some great patterns here with the designer paper and some other fun products. So we are going to focus on some of these dies, the ribbon and the leaves in particular. And the dies that I used for this card are actually the Christmas Pinecone dies. I was actually inspired this card by Kathy Clark, who's demo in the States, but she, from what I could tell on her sample, instead of this, she had sort of embossed some sort of an image. I think it was embossed in gold, so another sort of Christmas leaf, holly image, something like that. But I had these dies, the Christmas Pinecone dies, and this is what they look like. So you get 2 sheets of dies, and we are going to use this one today on our project. So a lot of pine branches, and you can even see some pine cones in this die, and you can cut out corresponding pine cones. And then there's this die, which is also a larger one. It's a little bit different, but you can also sort of put some of your pine cone die cut pieces in there as well. So that's what I used for this gold image here. So let's get started, and I'll show you how this is going to come together. So for the base, I used a piece of very vanilla cardstock, 8.5 by 5.5, and I will post these measurements. So we're going to fold that in half. Now you could do this card probably either vertical or horizontal orientation if you wanted. So maybe we will do this one. Let's play around, and instead of this orientation, let's do it this way, because I think that will also look quite nice. So on top of the vanilla, I have a piece of Mary Merlot, and this is going to leave just a little bit of a border. I cut this down. We're working with 1/8 of an inch here. So this one is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. And you could even trim it a little bit less, just to show a little bit more of the vanilla. Maybe I will do that. Just a smidge. It could just be the way I cut my piece here, but let's just cut a little smidge off. And hopefully this won't mess around with my next layer too much, but so it'll show a teeny bit more of that vanilla there. Okay, so we're going to put this layer on. And this card, I just find the colors are so rich. Like it just looks very elegant in my mind. I quite like these colors together for a nice Christmas card, an elegant looking card, and I just really like this sample. Okay, so there's our Mary Merlot, and then we're going to put on a piece of our Evening Evergreen, which is also cut down 1/8 of an inch, and maybe I will trim just a smidge. I guess my initial measuring wasn't quite as accurate as it could have been. Okay. Let's just cut a teeny bit off so you can see a little bit more of that Mary Merlot underneath. Okay, so it'll be like that. Okay, so before I put this green layer down, we are going to put this gold die cut piece on. So I have pre-cut it out of gold foil, our gold foil sheets, and this is what it looks like. I did use an adhesive sheet on the back just because it is so very detailed. Now you can see it didn't cut quite all of those tiny little pieces, so you can either, you know, try to get some of them out before, if you want, before you peel this off. Or we can do it after, because sometimes these little pieces will stay behind on the adhesive sheet once we start pulling this off. So, and if they are still on, then we can poke them out at that point. So let's try that. Okay, now where to begin? All right, well, just getting some of these bigger pieces out here still. Oh, it's starting to come off. Okay, so we're just going to gently pull, being careful not to rip, because they are very thin little branches here. I mean, I guess if they do tear a little, you can just sort of piece them together a little bit. So you're now going to try to get out all those other teeny bits of gold foil that might have been left behind. So a lot of them came out. Let's just give this a quick look here. Oh, there's one. Oh, that's not even in all the way. Okay, so that actually came out pretty good. Now you will get a lot of these little bits stuck to your fingers, but this actually looks pretty good. Let's see. Oh, there's one up here. So just give it a quick look. I mean, if you miss the odd one, it's no big deal. Some of our greeting is going to cover that anyway. Okay, so now we are going to try to stick this down on our evergreen piece. So you can decide which way. Now this does have, if you can see, like pine cones in here. So I think I want these more, I mean, I guess they can go in all directions. You've got some a little bit sideways here, but you can decide however you would like this to sit. So some of this will hang over the edge a little, but I'm not too worried because we are still going to put it on those other layers. So I'm just going to sort of place it, give it a little tack down and just take a look. Make sure nothing is sticking together. And then go ahead and just start pressing these branches down. Now you could use the Tombow glue if you wanted, but I know for me, this in particular, this die is so detailed and thin. Like these branches are actually very thin. So for me, I think I would have a pretty gluey mess on my hands if I tried to use the Tombow, but it is definitely a strong adhesive and would hold this down as well. Fine tip glue pen would probably help as well if you wanted to use that. That's not as, comes out much finer. So you could definitely use that. And it doesn't have to go on all of the branch pieces, right? As long as you've got some of them tucked down, you're probably good to go. Okay, so there we are. And some of these are sticking over, and we may have to trim a few of them after. So let's put this on our base and see what it looks like. Okay, let's bring my base back, make sure I'm doing it the right way. Okay, so we're gonna stick this on top of this Mary Merlot and leave that little bit of an edge peeking out on all sides. Give that a press. Okay, so you can just subtly see that Mary Merlot peeking through. Okay, so there is our background. Very nice and rich looking and gold. Okay, so for our greeting, I used a different set of dies, and it's also with that Painted Christmas bundle, but these are the seasonal labels dies. and you get 2 sheets of them. So this coordinates with this Christmas season stamp set. Let me see if I have a bigger photo here, this one. So as you can see, a lot of, you can cut out pine cone images or the holly leaves and the holly berries, and there's some other leaves you can cut out with these dies. So these are meant to go together as a bundle, okay? But what I decided to pop out was these labels here for our greeting. So that's what I used out of this set. And so I did some pre-stamping, and this greeting I got from the Whimsical Trees stamp set. So may the love of the season warm your home and fill your heart. I thought that was lovely. And I wanted something that was going to fit on this label. Okay, so let's just layer these. So this is the Merry Merlot as well. And then our greeting was stamped on vanilla. And these are meant to be nestled into each other. Okay, like so. All right, so now I'm going to attach my ribbon. So this is the Cherry Copper and Gold metallic ribbon, very shiny as well. So I'm just going to put a strip of adhesive or 2 on the back. And then I'm going to start just sort of where this middle scallop is. I'm just going to sort of line it up there and make a little bit of a bow, so you can decide how much you want to hang over the edge. Okay, so let's do maybe like so. And I think what I'm going to do here, I'm going to put a glue dot in here just so it will tack it down as I fold it back. So let's just put a glue dot there for a minute. Okay, so decide how big you want your bow on the edge. So I think that's pretty good. Okay, so we'll just tack that down and then run our ribbon back to the opposite scallop there. And I'm going to put a couple more glue dots just on here because I'm going to fold it back on that. So just to tack it down. Okay. So then you kind of want to make sure that this bow is about the same size as that one. So it's just a matter of really eyeballing it, I think. So that looks not too bad. I think this one might be a little bit bigger, but you can always adjust that too. Okay, I think we'll just go with that. So we're going to fold this back onto the ribbon here, and then we can snip off this edge. Okay. So I think that looks fairly even, and then it will still fit on top of our base without hanging over. Okay, so that looks not too bad. So then we will pop this up with some dimensionals on our base. So I'm just going to put a couple actually on the ribbon just to help tack it down here. And then we'll put a couple here just so it pops up evenly on all sides. Okay. All right, so now let's put this in about the center. So I think kind of like so. Okay, and then you still have that ribbon there. All right, so then the last thing we are going to add, as you can see I've put them here, are these gold holly leaves. These are also part of that Painted Christmas suite. And you get 30 of them in a package. So you get 15 large ones and 15 smaller ones. There are 2 different sizes. So I think I'll take out 2 large and 1 small. If I can Find a small one there. Ooh, they kind of fly about a little bit. Okay, so I'm just going to put those on with glue dots as well. And they do sort of shimmer and sparkle, as you can see. So we're really going for the sparkle in this card. So just stick wherever you would like to put these. I'm just going to put them here to the side because I have that extra space. And I mean, if you wanted to add, you know, different colors of holly leaves, we have that die in the die that you can certainly cut some out of cardstock. But I thought, well, let's use these because I haven't used these yet, and they are really pretty. So I'm just going to put 3 holly leaves here, like so. And then I'm going to use our wonderful gems. Now you could also just use, I didn't have them handy, but you could also use just the red rhinestone jewels. They're a little bit smaller. These do come in 2 different sizes. So just because I had these up here, I'm just going to use these little red ones here. And we're going to put 3 of those on too. And they are self-adhesive, so that's perfect. Just sort of lay them in there. Trying not to cover the greeting too badly. And there you go. So you have 2 different orientations of the same card. Which one do you like? Do you have a preference? I like them both, actually. And if you find that these branches do sort of go over your edge, you can just sort of turn your card upside down and just sort of take a peek and snip off those edges around there. But this one looked not too bad. And I like both orientations, actually. I think they both look nice. So I hope you enjoyed that project today, and we'll give these Pinecone dies a try. They're very, very pretty. I do have a host code for October, a new one, as we are into a new month, and it is SQ2KTQ4M, and you're welcome to use that at checkout. If you would like to place an online order through my website, christineludwig.stampinup.net, you can use that host code at checkout, and you can also follow me on Facebook and Pinterest at Christine Stamping Spot. So I hope you all enjoy this week. Hopefully we'll still have some nice fall temperatures and nice fall colors that we can explore, and we will see you back again next week. Have a great week. Bye for now.